I'm Leah. I'm in grade 12 and I am from India. This is my third year here. Higher levels are economics, English language and lit, and global politics. And so the reason that I chose the IBDP was because, I come from an IB background, so I did already know a lot about the IB growing up. I had a lot of people, family friends and things like such that that did the IB, and so from their feedback and everything, and from what I knew, doing the MIP, it seemed like a very interactive course. It's a curriculum, so it's very well-rounded. There's a lot of things that you are able to practice, a lot of skills that you're able to practice, from oration to writing skills to presentation, collaboration, and it gives a really well-rounded approach to your academic life. It's a great way for you to practice all kinds of skills. You're not just sitting and writing exams. You're not just writing essays the entire time. For example, in our English classes, we do the IO, the individual orals. And then for your internal assessments, you have, for example, in global politics, you have presentations. You have to learn how to present, how to be persuasive in what you're trying to say as well. And so you learn all of these soft skills that no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing biology in the future or you're doing law, it really does come in handy, and it helps you become, it's very cliche saying, but it helps you become also a global citizen, because you're looking into all of these issues that have to do with the entire world. In English, we're thinking about post-colonialism, we're looking into all of these things, and it's not just, for example, studying about English history or British history. You're looking into all parts of the world. So yeah. What I've enjoyed the most is at the beginning, when you're told that you have to do one math, one science, and humanities language, it's kind of like, okay, well, this is a lot. I'm just planning to do biology, for example, and I don't really know what use the other subjects would be. And then you're like, okay, you're apprehensive about it. But then when you go into it, you realize that it's actually really interesting. And personally, I'm glad that I'm doing these other subjects, even if I'm not going into them. For example, Spanish, learning a new language, the fact that the IB kind of pushes you to learn a new language. It's something I wouldn't have done otherwise. And I feel like that's something that I've enjoyed, learning new things that I wouldn't have otherwise. I'll participate in clubs. So I do MUN. I also have my own club, which is Law Society. And I also have another club, which I'm co-president for, which is Global Politics and Debate Club. So I knew that is where I wanted to put my energy, and that's where I did. And so I was able to actually balance that quite well, because those are during lunchtimes. They're not very demanding. It's more of you being in that space during that time, and less of you doing a lot of extra work. And so, yeah, I think just realizing what I had to prioritize from the beginning was very important. What you learn also, from being at not only ACS, but also just being in the IB, is that you do have time to do other things, but also the IB, the CAS, for example, encourages you to do other activities. And so you understand that it's very important to balance your life, to do sports, but also at the same time understanding not to spread yourself too thin, because some people, some of my friends are able to do everything. They're able to do a bunch of sports, bunch of other activities, and the IB. But for example, me, I know that doesn't suit me. And so being at ACS, being the IB, I've been able to understand what kind of a learner I am and what works for me. In terms of my teachers, they really understand when the fact that not everybody has the same learning style, not everybody has the same pace. And so they work to accommodate for that. They will always be open to meeting outside of school, and outside of class time. So in the morning, during breaks, they will find time for you, and they understand that the IB is demanding, your other subjects are demanding. And so, for example, extensions, things like such, or just accommodating in terms of if you need some extra time to work on it during class, they'll give you that. And so they're very open to listening to what we have to say as students, but then also vice versa. That respect goes both ways, I think, and which is very important in any educational setting. And I think that's really helped me. They try to help you understand yourself through those meetings. And so you get to understand that, okay, maybe I actually want to stay in a city. Maybe I want to have a campus lifestyle. they help you go through that process, especially with the personal statements. And for the UK, I was having trouble at the beginning to write it. And I didn't really know my thought process. Like, I knew why I wanted to do the subject, but I just couldn't put into words. And so the university counselor was able to sit with me, and she was able to be like, okay, just speak it out, your passion to me, and I'll help you put it into words, put it into like a structure. And just that in itself helped so much. I'm planning to study law at university in the UK, looking at the University of Durham, University of Exeter, and a bunch of London universities such as UCL and KCL, as well as the University of Bristol. Well, personally, I've always been really interested in the human sciences, and so I always knew that I wanted to do something in that realm, because I feel like for me, I thrive best when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, and just engaging with issues like very like in a first-hand manner. And so that's why I thought that law would be a great thing, and also it's a great basis, like a great foundation to have. And so when you go into law, you're able to understand where you want to go from there, whether you want to go to human rights law, corporate law. For me personally, I'd want to go into corporate law. And so that, again, because of the IBDP, I've been able to get this understanding because I was able to try economics. I was able to try global politics, and that's when I understood, okay, I really do want to do law. I want to also do my master's in economics because I understood in the last 2 years just how much I like economics, and I never knew that before. And so I think it's, like I mentioned, laying a foundation in law, and then from there seeing where I think I thrive, and then going into master's in economics, seeing where that takes me. Yeah, so the MUN is a model United Nations. It gives you an opportunity to represent countries and talk about world issues that are very prevalent in modern times, and anything from sustainability to health to national security, anything like that. And I think it's very important. It has played an integral role in my life into shaping me into someone who is confident, who's able to present well, and into someone that really understands the importance of collaboration in order to come up with a resolution. And so the opportunity that ACS has provided me to participate in MUN in the the international conferences has really, really helped me. And I think it also is a major reason why I decided to pursue law, and I'm deciding to pursue law because I realized that I really like debating. I like working with people. I like working in a very interactive setting. And so, yeah, it really helped shape that understanding for me. I would say it's a really good option because it helps you approach your academic lifestyle in a way that is very well-rounded. You were able to study a lot of different subjects. You're able to understand where your interests lie, because I think a lot of people assume that at the age of 16, you're supposed to know what you want to do. Right before you jump into the IBTP, right before your last 2 years of high school, you're supposed to know what you want to do, but that isn't the case for a lot of people. And so the IBDP allows you to explore where your interests lie, because you have to do science, you have to do math, and a language, humanities. And so a lot of my friends, for example, they start off in 10th grade wanting to do biology. Then they go into the IBDP and they take economics as a humanities, and they realize, I think this is where my strengths lie, my interests lie. And so it really helps shape that. And so they're still taking biology, they're still learning about it, but they're also learning about economics. And they understand that, I think when you're doing the IB, you understand that there's more to your academic success than just doing what you are interested in, that doing a language really does help, that learning about a science or doing math really does help and can come into handy, even if it's not in university, in the future, because our interests are not going to stay the same throughout our lives, or they rarely do. And so the IBDP helps you be prepared for that and changes your life. Yeah. Well, personally, I think the school trips were really, really memorable. For example, the Hague MUN was, I think, one of my first school trips that I've done. And it was just, both times were like super memorable. And also the ESS and biology trip to Juniper Hall, that was very